Welcome to this online session of Building Materials and Construction 5. Today we'll be seeing about Unit 4 named Advanced Construction Techniques and Materials. In this session we'll be seeing about tensile structures, and in that we'll be seeing about its description, a brief history about it, its types, components, and also its advantages and disadvantages. So first we will start with a description of a tensile structure. So the term tensile structures describes the category of buildings in which the load bearing capacity is achieved through tension stress in the majority of the components such as cables, technical fabrics or foils. So a tensile structure is a construction of elements carrying only tension and no compression or bending. The term tensile should not be confused with transgravity, which is a structural form with both tension and compression elements. So tensile structures are the most common type of thin shell structures. It can also be defined as a structure where the exterior shell is a fabric material spread over a framework. The fabric is maintained in tensions in all directions to provide stability. The only exception is represented by rigid boundaries and structural members, which are generally subjected to compression and bending. Tension structures are commonly subdivided in boundary tension membranes, pneumatic membranes, and pre-stressed cable nets and beams. So most of the tensile structures are supported by some form of compression or bending elements such as mast, compression, rings or beams. So a tensile structure is most often used as a roof as they can economically and attractively span large distances. Tensile membrane structures may also be used as complete buildings with a few common applications being sports facilities, warehousing, storage buildings and exhibition venues. So now we will see its history. Tensile fabric structures have been with us since the Mongolians swept down the plains with their yurts and their transportable overnight accommodation. And there's evidence that the Romans even covered the Colosseum with massive canopies, hoisted by an intricate system of pulleys to protect the audience from the elements of nature. But they really came into their own in the half last of the 20th century, when designs like this by Germany's Frey Otto. This form of construction has been more rigorously analyzed and widespread in large structures in the latter part of the 20th century. Tensile structures have been used in tents where the guy ropes and tent poles provide pre-tension to the fabric and allow it to withstand loads. Russian engineer Vladimir Shuko was one of the first to develop practical calculation of stresses and deformations of tensile structures, shells and membranes. Shuko designed 8 tensile structures and thin shell structures exhibition pavilions for the Nizhny Novgorod Fair of 1896, covering an area of 27,000 square meters. A more recent large-scale use of a membrane-covered tensile structure is the Sidney Mai musical bowl constructed in 1958. So Antonio Gaudi used the concept in reverse to create a compression-only structure for the Colonia Güell church. He created a hanging tensile stress model of the church to calculate the compression forces and to experimentally determine the column and vault geometries. The Olympia Stadium in Munich makes extensive use of tensile roofing structures. The concept was later championed by German architect and engineer Frey Otto, whose first use of the idea was in the construction of the West German Pavilion at Expo 67 in Montreal. Otto used the idea for the roof of the Olympic Stadium for the 1972 Summer Olympics in Munich. Steady technological progress had increased the popularity of fabric roof structures. The low weight of the materials makes construction easier and cheaper than standard designs, especially when vast open spaces have to be covered. Now we will see why tensiles are the shape they are. So first point is, large flat pieces of fabric are very poor at resisting loads. Imagine 4 of you pulling on a string lace through a tennis ball. A fifth person pushing down on the ball can deflect it easily. So likewise, imagine a flappy murky roof. Try lifting 2 opposite strings and lowering the other 2. So the ball is locked in space. Apply this principle to fabric and you have created anticlastic double curvature. Next we will see the types of tensile structures. They are saddle roof, mast supported, arch supported and combinations. So first we will start with the saddle roof. 4 or more point system when the fabric is stretched between a set of alternating high and low points. The roof plan taken directly from the structural engineering working drawings illustrates the roof configuration and its components. The saddle-shaped roof of the stage cover nestles under the auditorium roof of the project. The leaning A-frames and the stay cables which hold them back are clearly visible along with the radial cables which shape the tent units. The corner tripod, each consisting of a vertical mast and 2 sloping cables, are connected to concrete anchors rising from the water. In this image, we will also see the section through the project showing the stage roof tucked under the auditorium roof. So the second type is mast supports. It is a tent-like structure in appearance. Mast supported structures typically have one or sometimes several peaks that are supported by either interior or perimeter mast. The fabric is attached to the interior mast by special connections, usually a bale ring or a cable loop. Mast supported structures can be supported by adjacent buildings. The peaks of a mast supported structure are determined by the design and how the fabric is attached. Openings are typically ovoid or elliptical. The fabric that extends from the top of the opening is seamed and can necessitate patterning. Mast supported structures are suitable for long spanned roof. The third type is arch shape. Curved compression members are used as the main supporting elements and cross arches are used for lateral stability. In a plain arch, large differences between the thrust lines and the main geometry will produce large bending moments that in turn produce large changes in shape and high stresses in the arch chord section. One method to significantly reduce these effects is to tie or restrain points along the arch chord to reduce the initial stage deformations of the chord. The buckling length of the arch chord can also be reduced by discretely continuously supporting the chord with tension elements or systems comprised of cables or membranes. So the last type is combinations. Combinations are nothing but combination of several support types. So that's all about the types of tensile structures. So next we will see its components. So the first one is base plate. It forms the connection to the concrete foundation pillar. So next is the membranes. It forms the enclosure of the structure. So next we will see its material. Two of the most common coated fabrics are polyvinyl chloride coated polyester and polytetrafluoroethylene coated glass cloth. So first we will see about PVC coated polyester. So PVC coated polyester can be a great material choice for both permanent and temporary tensile fabric structures. PVC coated polyester is known for its excellent strength, flexibility, translucency, affordability compared to PTFE coated glass cloth and ETFE. So the PVC coating which is applied to polyester includes UV stabilizers, fire retardant adhesives and anti-fungicides. PVC coated polyester fabrics have a structural lifespan greater than 20 years. However, we may begin to experience some visual inconsistency earlier than 20 years because the surface grows harder to clear with time. For this reason, the manufacturers may only quote a lifespan of up to 10 to 15 years. So despite PVC's durability and low price, unlike many other polymers, PVC contains chlorine which has proven negative health effects on humans. Its chemical additives can also be a very negative effect on the recycling process of PVC materials. So next is the PTFE glass coated cloth. So the PTFE coated glass cloth was developed first by DuPont in the 1960s and has been used to create tensile fabric structures since the early 1970s. Originally, the material had a lifespan of 25 years. However, this has already been exceeded with present-day expectations lying somewhere between 30 and 50 years. Today, it is considered to be the highest quality material for creating tensile fabric membranes and the best choice if we desire a long lifespan with a low maintenance. One of the most remarkable qualities of PTFE is that it is actively bleached by UV light, which means that it is easy to maintain a crisp, bright white appearance over the course of decades. This means before installation, PTFE actually has an irregular off-white or slightly brown color, which results from the manufacturing and fabrication process. In addition, the coating resists the building up of environmental pollution and it is naturally cleaned off by the rain. So PTFE coated glass cloth is available in various strength ranges. Typically, thicker fabrics will have a great tensile strength and a low light transmission rate, while lighter grade fabrics will have a low tensile strength but greater daylighting and illumination effects. So next we will also see a little bit of aesthetics about it. So the first one is about its size. So tensile fabric can be manufactured in virtually any size and shape. When thinking about size, it is important to consider how fabrics will stretch when they are pulled to create tension. The size of each panel is typically derived from a computer generated model which is then modified to account for the way fabric will change during installation. So the next is color. When it comes to tensile fabrics, white is far by the industry standard. By using a light colored fabric, we can effectively reduce the amount of heat that is attracted to the building, making it a more sustainable choice. Additionally, when working with PTFE, white can be a beneficial choice performance-wise since the material is naturally bleached by UV light. That being said, manufacturers offer tensile fabrics in a wide range of vibrant colors. So the next is about transparency. PVC coated polyester can be manufactured with varying levels of transparency and light transmission, ranging from very transparent to completely opaque. PTFE varies in translucency with light transmission commonly ranging from 7% to 15%. The quality of light that is transmitted is color balanced, diffused and free of shadows and glare. In many cases, ETFE is very transparent and has an approximate light transmission of about 85%. However, ETFE foil can be fritted similar to laminated glass products to allow for greater opacity. In general, translucent fabric membranes can be harnessed to softly diffuse light and create stunning naturally lit spaces. Next we will see it performance-wise. So first is about aesthetics. So similar to thermal insulation, tensile fabric structures are available with acoustical liners that can effectively alter reverberation time and increase speech intelligibly within a space. So the next one is the maintenance. Tensile fabric structures are lauded for their ease of maintenance. That said, many manufacturers recommend that fabric structures undergo an annual inspection in order to ensure that every part is functioning properly. So the next is about rainwater. Tensile fabric structures should be designed to channel water to the perimeter and run off naturally. Many manufacturers can also install gutters which will redirect any water to the ground and away from the structure. So the last one is about snow loading. So the snow loading can be a challenging aspect of tensile structures as snow will simply not flow off the structure in the same way water will. Some structures which are prone to ponding harness integrated heating to melt any snow that tries to settle in. So next we will also see some specialized hardware which is like tripod stand with centenary cables as a side connection, extruded section with membrane, tensioner plate and centenary cables. So finally we will see its advantages and its disadvantages. So first is its advantages. Longer life cycle of materials. Materials can be reused in form. Most materials are completely recyclable. There is less impact on site. There is less construction debris after demolition. There's unique designs, lightweight and flexible, environmentally sensitive, and high strength weight ratio. So next we will say is disadvantages. Little to no rigidity, loss of tension is dangerous for stability, and thermal values limits use. So that's all for its advantages and disadvantages. So in this session we saw about tensile structures, its description, its history, its various types and components, also its advantages and disadvantages. Thank you.